Hey, what's up? It's live stream season. Welcome to Fantasy Football Today on this Tuesday afternoon. Adam Azer, Jamie Eisenberg, and it's Tara time. Tara Roberts is here. What's up, Tara? Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. Happy to join you guys.
We are thrilled to have you, and we have
Tara, you know it was Adam's birthday this weekend?
I did not.
Me neither.
Yeah, nobody did. Except for Dave Richard. He said happy birthday. Listen, we got a 12-team half PPR draft going on right now. If you look at the display, I've got Jamie's rankings queued up, which is I never use. They're the worst ones, but since Jamie's here, we'll just use those. These are Jamie's overall rankings. It's half PPR. Keep that in mind. So McCaffrey going number one. I knew Chris liked McCaffrey number one in full PPR. Half PPR. Jamie, what do you think about that? McCaffrey, then Taylor, then Derrick Henry, then Cooper Kupp, and Austin Eckler. What do you think about that so far?
I think, look, we talked about this on F15.5. We'll talk about it more tomorrow on the running back, top 5 running back preview. If you're looking for who has the highest ceiling, Christian McCaffrey has the highest ceiling. It's just, what the floor is. The floor is obviously the injuries. And so if he plays, I like to use the 13-game ballpark. If he plays 13 games or more, per game, he's probably going to be better than Jonathan Taylor. And maybe total points, he's going to be better than Jonathan Taylor. But, for a guy that's played 10 games over the last 2 years, that's the risk you run.
All right, so Tara's got the 7th pick. She is on deck as we are waiting for Marone to make a pick here. And hopefully he's around. If not, we'll figure that out. But so far, it's kind of the usual suspects, expecting Najee Harris to come off the board soon. The 2 wide receivers. I mean, really interesting, Tara. In a full PPR league, this is half PPR. It is 3 receivers, though. But in a full PPR league, I think maybe you and I would be looking at Jefferson and Chase with our picks, 7 and 9. Maybe. I'm probably almost certainly going to be more running back inclined here. We'll see. I mean, if it's like, we'll see which running backs are available by the time it gets to me. What are you thinking in terms of balancing running back versus wide receiver in his half PPR format?
These middle wins are kind of tough when you're in half PPR because it's real easy, like you said, to go ahead and go with the wide receiver here. But for me, I think I'm probably still more inclined to go ahead and go with either Jefferson or Chase. It's tough when you are sitting there and you're looking and you're thinking, am I taking Dalvin Cook? Am I taking Najee Harris? Joe Mixon's there's an option as well. Mm-hmm. I probably still lean towards wide receiver.
Okay. Well, we can read some questions here while we wait for Marone to join us. And this first one here is from Will. Did Adam turn 25? What do you think? Tara, how old do you think I am? You can't see the gray, but there is some. What do you think? Take a guess.
This is an educated guess. 29?
29. Jamie, what about you? What do you think?
35.
You could try a little harder, Jamie, because when I graduated high school. I turned 38 on Sunday. 38. But thank you. 29 is an awesome guess. Here's Broward Bravado. I like Mike Williams over Keenan Allen in half PPR. What do you think? And no, I'm not 42, Broward. Now I regret asking your question.
I'm much higher on Keenan Allen. I love the upside of Mike Williams, but it's just a little too risky for me to have him as my wide receiver one.
All right, Najee Harris is the pick, and we are moving here. Tara, you are on the clock. 3 receivers, half PPR, also starting a flex. That's all you need to know here. What's your pick?
I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson.
Okay, 2 wide receivers off the board. And I'm going to mute my guy yelling at me that I'm on the clock or that I'm on deck. All right, next pick is Dalvin Cook. So I'm looking running back here, and we're going to go with Joe Mixon. Full PPR, I would go with Jamar Chase. I'm going to take Joe Mixon in half PPR. All right, Jamie, do you think any other wide receivers belong in round 1? Do you think Travis Kelce belongs in round 1? Or should it be 3 running backs rest of the way in half PPR?
Oh, I think Chase and Kelce belong in round 1. Non-PPR, you can make however you want to qualify. Non-PPR, I think you can make a case that maybe no other receivers can go. But as we talk a lot about when you get to the back end of round 1 and you're picking early in round 2, you start to see what the player pool is. So, if you value Jamar Chase in the same range as guys like Stephon Diggs and Deebo Samuel and CeeDee Lamb and those guys, then you can, wait and get one of those receivers in round 2. If you value Kelsey and Mark Andrews in the same range, you can wait and maybe see who falls to you in the second round. But I think as we start to get to this group of running backs, led by Kamara, but, Aaron Jones and Leonard Fournette and DeAndre Swift and that group of running backs, I would probably take one of those receivers and then pair them with one of those guys.
All right, so the next 2 picks were all right, I'm coming off the board here. So Travis Kelce, Jamar Chase, Alvin Kamara, and DeAndre Swift. Tara, I'll get your thoughts on that. George Maselli at 12 and 13 goes with 2 running backs. It is a 3-receiver league, but Kamara and DeAndre Swift. Do you like those picks?
I'm uncomfortable with Kamara, but I don't mind it maybe paired with DeAndre Swift, just because I feel like Swift does have actual RB1 overall upside. So if you want to take that risk and then back it up just in case of the suspension, I think that makes sense there.
I'm thrilled to get Stephon Diggs here. I love Stephon Diggs in all formats here, but if I'm going running back, receiver, so Mixon and Diggs works out for me. I could have been Jamar Chase and maybe Aaron Jones would have fallen to me, but the next best running back is Leonard Fournette on the board, so I think that worked out pretty well for me. Now Mark Andrews goes, and Tara, you are on the clock with your first pick was Justin Jefferson? All right. What are you going to do here? Are you going to go Fournette? Are you going to go – you talk it out.
I'm not going to let I'm going to go with Nick Chubb. I am highly influenced by the Deshaun Watson news, and I just think that, at the very least, we're looking at a half-year suspension here, possibly more. They're going to have to rely on Nick Chubb a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of suspensions, I want to go back to this. I don't know, Jamie from Keat. What is the status on Alvin Kamara? Things have been so quiet on his situation. Indeed, they have.
The last thing I saw was that the case was postponed until August, or the hearing was postponed until August, and so that I think is encouraging for Kamara's playing status, is that most likely they're not going to get a result until the start of the season. But we know with how these things go, it could get pushed back to the start of the year, the calendar year of 2023. So I'm guessing he's going to avoid a suspension, but you never know how the NFL is going to react. I don't think it's going to be a lengthy suspension if he does get suspended.
I wanted to say something about Travis Kelce here and where he should go in half PPR, because catches are such a big part of his game. But I'm looking now, where did he finish among wide receivers in half PPR in the last 4 seasons per game? Kelce has been in half PPR, wide receiver 8, wide receiver 9, wide receiver 4, and wide receiver 10. So not really that much worse than he's been in full PPR. So maybe that helps people a little bit. All right, after Nick Chubb, it was CeeDee Lamb, Leonard Fournette, and Deebo Samuel. All right, and Jamie's about to be on the clock as we're waiting for Dave to make a pick. Take a look at Dave's team. I think he took Derrick Henry in the first round. See, Dave did take Derrick Henry, and now we await his next pick. And Jamie, you took Jonathan Taylor. So what are you thinking here? Your overall strategy with 1 running back in a 3-receiver league, what are you thinking for your next 2?
I think, just looking at the list of receivers here, there's just a lot to like. I probably would have taken Barkley.
Barkley. Whoa, a lot of helium. There's actually a helium shortage. I've had a lot of kids' birthday parties lately, so there's a helium shortage. But because Saquon Barkley is stealing it all, folks. He's a riser for sure. Thank you. Tara, what do you think about that? Sorry to cut you off, Jamie, as you took Mike Evans. Saquon Barkley, 22nd overall.
I don't mind it. I do think he's going to have a lot more pass catching upside, so it's a good spot for him.
Who are the other running backs in Jamie's rankings? Javonte, Montgomery, James Conner, Cam Akers. Okay. Jamie took Mike Evans, by the way. The other wide receivers in Jamie's rankings: Keenan Allen, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins. The tight ends, only 2 off the board so far. We're not going to be taking a quarterback here, although in ADP, this is where Josh Allen would start to go. We'll see what Chris Towers does. Chris Towers is Christian McCaffrey, and he'll have back-to-back picks here at the end of round 2 and into round 3. Do want to thank everybody for joining us. Our first live stream, so get used to it. Tuesday afternoons at 1 p.m. Eastern. Put it on your calendar. We're going to be doing these live streams, these live mock drafts to help you get ready. We're going to have all different types of formats. Next week is going to be a Scott Fishbowl mock. as Chris takes Tyreek Hill. And let's guess Chris's pick. I think no chance it's going to be a running back. Other than David Montgomery. It was David Montgomery. Okay. Oh, I forgot this is half PPR, so he would do that. Yeah. All right, Jamie is up with Jonathan Taylor and Mike Evans. I think Jamie's going to take Javonte Williams.
Now, I will say our rankings for half PPR default to PPR.
Right.
On this. So it's a little different than what I would do if you saw our half PPR rankings. So I'm not going to take Javonte. I'm going to take AJ Brown.
Okay. So 2 receivers and a running back for you. I could take a look at the roster grid. That's a fun feature. Let's look at the roster grid. There you go. Does anybody have 2 wide receivers? Yes, Jamie does. He has 3 picks. RJ White and Robert Thomas. Robert Thomas, master of Facebook for us. They both started wide receiver. Adams and Chase and Kupp and Debo. Dan Schneier and Jack Capitorto took the tight ends and a running back. So we'll see how these teams play out. Any questions? Fire away. Why isn't Cam Akers considered second round? Jamie, you want to weigh in on that?
Well, I think, you've seen a small sample size of how good he can be. And the hope would be, as Jordan Rodriguez pointed out in the story you read earlier, she covers the Rams for The Athletic, that he's healthy and they expect him to be more involved in the passing game. And so if those things happen, that he is healthy and can play 13 plus games and is more involved in the passing game than we've seen from the Rams post Todd Gurley with their backfield, then he has the chance to be a second round finisher, if not higher. But, I think you got to build in the fact that he's not necessarily performed consistently in the opportunities that he's had. He is still coming off what was a major injury from a year ago. And while he played through it at the end of the last season, he wasn't exactly great. But I do think that you can justify taking him in the second round if it's a running back heavy draft because of what he showed you in that playoff run. I don't care what the numbers suggest. He was healthy for that part of the year, full off season, and taking on some of the best run defenses in the NFL at that time.
All right, next few picks, Javonte Williams, James Conner, and Keenan Allen. Tara, who do you like, Javonte Williams or James Conner?
I would probably go with Javonte Williams there. It's pretty close. I know we're a little bit concerned about the appearance of Melvin Gordon, but I think the upside is still there within that Denver offense.
Keenan Allen's an interesting pick. He goes 29th. I don't know if you guys want to count how many wide receivers are off the board, what Keenan Allen was, but in half PPR, this is where Keenan Allen has finished per game last 5 seasons. 4th, 15th, 12th, 11th, and 17th. So 4 straight years, Keenan Allen has been somewhere between 11th and 17th per game in half PPR, as opposed to PPR, where he's been in those 4 years 12th, 8th, 6th, and 13th. He's significantly better. So, yeah, it's certainly not a bad pick in round 3. Based on his finishes, it's not a high upside pick, but maybe a kind of a safe pick. Michael Pittman right after that. And you take T. Higgins, Tara. All right, you like that pick? What's your team so far?
So I've got Jefferson, Nick Chubb, and T. Higgins. I like to go heavy wide receiver, even in half PPR. I just like to be well-equipped at wide receiver.
Yeah. Well, you have to start 3 of them. Somebody asked how many wide receivers are we starting. We are starting 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, a tight end, and a flex. I'm on the clock. All right. Look at my team, everybody. Mixon and Diggs. Ooh, kind of hate the wide receivers right now. Let's look at the running backs. Oh, I don't like anyone right now. That's a problem. I think this would be a good
I took
spot.
A wide receiver.
Yeah, I would have taken Higgins for sure. This would be a good spot for Dobbins if I felt 100% comfortable with his health. I don't.
Take Pitts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take Pitts. One of those running backs, so basically a big tier of running back there. We'll take a look at the names again. One of them will make it back to me. So Pitts is my pick. Zeke, Jacobs, Breece Hall, Gibson, Dobbins, ETN. I'm probably not going to take Gibson. He's sort of on an avoid list for me, but one of those guys will be there. Or I'll take wide receiver, whatever. We'll see. We'll see how it works. Anyway, here's another question. When should the first quarterback go? From Hayden. When should the first quarterback go? I think it's going to be soon.
Yeah, I'm okay with it happening in late round 3, round 4.
I should probably take off just my team here and look at all the draft results, right? A little selfish. Chris Godwin. Yeah, so we're in quarterback territory. Now, ADP says the first quarterback's going to go toward the end of the second round. That's where Josh Allen's being taken right now. In our leagues, I think you're looking around this spot where you might look at your options and just not really like it. You've got Kyle Pitts, who has a bad quarterback situation. You've got Chris Godwin, who is coming off a torn ACL. We don't know if he's going to start the season on the PUP list. And you've got guys like Zeke and Dobbins. I mean, Akers to me was a great pick at 32. I wish he had fallen to me at 33. So you could easily see someone pivot to quarterback here.
I could promise you Heath will take a quarterback in this round.
Why? Because of what he said earlier today?
No, I mean, this is just typically the way he drafts. You know, he looks at the board and, you know, these are good players, unless he goes, you know, maybe Brandon Cooks, who he likes. But these are good players, but you have a chance to get the biggest difference maker at his position, which is Josh Allen. He just went. You know, Heath likes Mahomes or Herbert and Mahomes in a similar range to Josh Allen. So I know he's probably going to consider that as well. So, you know, give yourself an edge at a position where you can. You know, it's not necessarily a bad thing to do. It's just a matter of, you know, what you're comparing that player to and the upside that player may have.
All right. So Antonio Gibson, Zeke, Josh Allen, J.K. Dobbins, Brandon Cooks. And let's see if I was right. Anybody from that running back tier? Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, those aren't bad picks. It's a tough pick. Yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah. Oh, this is an easy pick, actually. Bam. It's a little bit farther down in the rankings. Jamie, let's move Cortland Sutton up so I don't miss him next time, all right?
If the reports continue to be positive for him and negative for Jerry Jeudy, we just might.
Okay. We're going to get a pretty exciting run on wide receiver here. We have some good ones. You can see the available wide receivers on the left. Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin, Amari Cooper, Jalen Waddle, Michael Thomas. I mean, Michael Thomas could go any time between now and round 8. His draft range is so big. So we still have Metcalf, Mike Williams, a lot of good wide receivers. Round 4 is always a great wide receiver round. And that's going to be tough for Heath because Heath's going to have to pass up one of these guys to take a quarterback for anybody here, I guess. What's Tara Roberts going to do? Let's take a look at Tara's team. Tara picked 7th and has Nick Chubb, T. Higgins, and Justin Jefferson. All right, what do you got?
I'm going to go with Travis Etienne. It's not a homer pick. I'm just looking at those running backs and trying to do the math there. If I'm going to pick somebody at this spot in this round, and I feel like he's a running back who does have the upside to finish as an RB1 and more than likely to come out of the dead zone and actually perform. So I'll take that risk there with him as opposed to some of the wide receivers that were on the board.
Okay. I just want to, this comment here, I think is really interesting. Adam is killing it. So, you know.
Howard Bravado. Which relative of that is yours?
I see Breece Hall moving up the rankings as well. Has Breece Hall gone off the board yet? Or is he still there? I think he's one of the top.
Still there.
All right. Breece Hall is still there. Now is Breece Hall time, Jamie?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll see.
I was wrong.
What'd you say?
I was wrong about Heath.
Heath took. Oh, sorry, I had to scroll up. Jalen Waddle to Marone, and Heath took Josh. Heath can't have a draft without Josh Jacobs. You know that.
So Tara, we do this pick by pick series that we do for our magazine, and we each take a team. Adam did it for the first time this year, and Heath, Dave, and I usually do 4 of the 12 teams. Chris, I think, helped us last year, so we did 3 of the team. But Adam and Dan Schneider joined us this year to do it. And Adam saw one of Heath's teams, and he texted me. He goes, "This is the ideal Heath team." And then we do a write up on the teams for the magazine. And Heath said, "This is my dream team."
Was Josh Jacobs on it?
I think it was Andrews, Jacobs, DJ Moore, like every guy that he loves.
Brandon Cooks, probably. Yeah.
All
right, so we're taking a look here at these results, and Breece Hall and DK Metcalf. So who took Breece Hall? Robert Thomas took. All right, Jamie took Darren Waller. All right, and yeah, we'll probably see Kittle come off the board pretty soon as well. Chris Towers is on the clock, and you know what I need to do? I need to sort it by all results. because it's starting to jump around a little bit. Deontay Johnson, is that late for Deontay Johnson? 48. Is that a good value or just a normal value?
I'd have it as more of a normal value. I think you're not going too high, but then you're also not discounting him.
All right, so we got four rounds in the books. Let's take a look at the roster grid here. Look at Jamie's team. Jamie with the second pick, Jonathan Taylor. Then he went Mike Evans, then A.J. Brown, Darren Waller. Tara had the 7th pick. She is not visible here, but she has, let's see. There she is. She has Justin Jefferson, Nick Chubb, T. Higgins, Travis Etienne. And then I had the 9th pick, Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Pitts, Cortland Sutton. And we are into round 5. Mike Williams off the board. Okay, sorry. Just going to make sure we can see all the results. There we go. Mike Williams, Terry McLaurin, Allen Robinson. Jamie, the fact that Allen Robinson is, that Odell Beckham is probably going to go on to the Rams, but maybe might miss half the season. Does that make Allen Robinson a 5th round pick for you?
He's in this range. Yeah. I mean, I think you hope that he's healthy. You hope that he's right. You hope that he hasn't just fallen off a cliff and that the bad quarterback play in Chicago and the offense in Chicago was the reason for what happened to him last year. He's clearly going to a place that has rejuvenated players before. Odell last year, I mean, Robert Woods was considered a bust in Buffalo and got to Sean McVay and that system and became a superstar. Obviously, Cooper Kupp went into that system from college and was a superstar. So, you know, if Robinson is right, this is a great pick, but it's slightly too soon for me. But I understand, you know, Dave looking for the upside play there, so it's fine.
George Kittle to Robert Thomas with the 52nd pick. And I think he now has Deebo Samuel and George Kittle in rounds 2 and 5, respectively. Tara, is that too many 49ers with your first 5 picks?
It is. I'm a little uncomfortable with the 49ers outside of Trey Lance.
Okay. And by the way, Jamie, there it is. Justin Herbert going to Heath.
He played it right. He knew who he's drafting with.
Yeah. I'm going to just exit the draft room for a moment, see if I can fix our little skipping problem here. Hey, everyone. Terry, you're on the clock if you want to talk it out.
Yes. So the reason why I took Travis Etienne in the prior round is because the receiver that I wanted to take, it was going to be a little too earlier for him. And I really thought that I'd be able to come around at this pick and get Marquise Brown. I love the upside there. The value that you're going to get early on in the season, I think, is going to be insane. I believe in the connection between him and Kyler Murray. So I like him for this value.
All right. Jamie, want to update us real quick here? If I miss, I think I'm about ready here.
No, it was Allen Robinson, George Kittle, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and then Tara took Marquise Brown.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. We're back up and running here. So you can see on the left, I'm going to toggle by Jamie's rankings. These are his best available players at all positions here. And on the right is our draft board, and you can see all the latest results. So Marquise Brown going to Tara. And so some of the best wide receivers, Amari Cooper, Michael Thomas, Jerry Jeudy, Juju Smith-Schuster, Darnell Mooney, Adam Thielen, Rashad Bateman, Gabriel Davis. A lot of young breakouts in this group, breakout candidates anyway. And running backs. Want to see the best running backs available? I certainly do because I'm on the clock. Miles Sanders, A.J. Dillon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. All right, so I've got 2 wide receivers and a tight end. Mixon, Diggs, Sutton, Kyle Pitts. It is too long to go in a half PPR league without taking my second running back, so that will be A.J. Dillon for me. So Mixon and Dillon, Diggs, Sutton, and Pitts. I might have even gone another round in a full PPR league without a running back. All right, let me get back to the draft results. So usually,
let's see what the managers after you did have.
There are 2 men. That's 6 picks before me. I don't know that it really matters that much. Do you? I think if I had any pick 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, I start looking at that more. Unless it's quarterback time or tight end time. You know what I mean?
Is that quarterback 1 or quarterback 2 for you, or quarterback 3 or quarterback 4? Tara, in a 12-team draft where there's 6 bench spots, how many quarterbacks you drafted?
Only 1.
Yeah, you're a fool. You all are, and I mean that. I mean, you're in the same league as a Jamie Eisenberg, so that's an honor. But you guys are fools. George with the Rashad Bateman, Gabriel Davis 5-6 turn.
That's living dangerously.
That
Pay off huge, but I don't know if I want both at that spot.
Let's see George's team here. George has a fun team. Josh Allen, Kamara, and Swift. All right, so look, when you don't take a wide receiver, these are his first two. Gabriel Davis and Rashad Bateman. He's got Ezekiel Elliott as his flex. Like it, hate it, love it, or in the middle?
I mean, I like the swing at defense.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if Kamara doesn't get suspended, I mean, you're looking at two very incredible, productive running backs there.
All right, I'm back on the clock with my 6th pick, and we'll take a look at the best available players. These are the running backs. I have Mixon, Dillon, Diggs, Sutton, and Pitts. I don't really love any of these values here. Wide receiver. Oh, see, this is I really like Jerry Jeudy here, but can't really do that, I don't think. Quarterback? No. We'll be all right there. Let's take Juju Smith-Schuster. Yeah. This is a terrific team. I mean, wow. Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to the draft results. We've got Gabriel Davis, Miles Sanders, Michael Thomas, and Juju for our first 4 picks of round 6. Looking for more questions here.
Tara, what's your thoughts on Juju and the Chiefs receiving corps?
I believe in Juju. I think that he's going to benefit from targets the most. I get what the Chiefs are doing in terms of the way that they wanted to separate Tyreek Hill's role between Juju and then MBS. And I think he's going to be a lot better than people realize, just because we've seen him perform. We've seen him be a upside wide receiver 1.
Real amateur move asking her a question when she's on the clock, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
True.
It's okay. I kind of thought about my pick before then. So, all right.
All right. What's it going to be?
Let me double check if there. Well, I changed my mind. I switched over to quarterback, and I think I changed my mind real quick.
Jamie will give you another minute on the clock if you need it.
It's all right. I'm impulse going with Lamar Jackson. Just flip over, and he's there. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
So here is Tara's team. It is entirely comprised of SEC and ACC players, I believe. Man. 2 Homer Tiger picks.
Yeah, minus Marquise Brown.
Right. Yeah, Marquise Brown, Oklahoma. Yeah. So almost
internal bias is showing, huh?
I think so. This is a solid team. So you missed out on the top 5. What's your tight end strategy going to be?
So I was going to take Dalton Schultz there because I do think, especially with the absence of Michael Gallup, that there's a good value in that he'll likely be able to at least come close to repeating what he did last year. But at this point, my tight end strategy is going to be a little bit of a fade there. It's probably going to be a couple more rounds before I dive in there.
Hey, you might get him. You might get him.
Maybe.
Jamie, there were some players that I wanted at that last pick where I took Juju that I didn't take because of who was already on my team. And give me your thoughts. So I didn't take Judy because I already had Sutton. Mm-hmm. And I didn't take Pollard because I already had A.J. Dillon. And I felt like there was a little bit too much downside. Huge upside, but a little bit too much downside there. I didn't want to put Pollard and Dillon on my team.
Why?
Thoughts? Well, because they both could be just kind of flexes. And, I'm drafting them to be starters. And if things don't, if the guys in front of them stay healthy, I think those could be 2 not bad picks. Not like they're going to be completely useless, but they might just be kind of 2 meh picks.
I mean, they might be, but I think Dillon's going to have a standalone role. I don't think he's relying on Aaron Jones getting hurt. And then I think when it comes to the potential of Pollard, I mean, Pollard may have some standalone value too, based on what you're hearing out of Dallas. So, unless there's somebody I think that stands out to you, you should always be looking for who has the most upside if it's close. And Pollard certainly has a lot of upside.
It does. Yeah, he does. Yeah. It's just sometimes I don't want to have too much downside on a team. Okay. What do you think about this turn here? Amon-Ra St. Brown and TJ Hawkinson. Interesting picks from Chris. Ooh, you know what? Let's come back to that. Jamie's on the clock. Let's take a look at Jamie's team here. his Jonathan Taylor team is Jonathan Taylor and Kareem Hunt, Mike Evans, A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, and Darren Waller at tight end. This is a nice team here. You can see his best available players on the left. Jalen Hurts, I mean, there's a chance to get a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, but I'm not taking quarterback now.
Oh, come on.
Too soon.
Too soon. It's round 7. Alan Lazard. All right.
I like it.
You like it, Tara? Why do you like that pick?
I'm more I like the red zone efficiency that Alan Lazard has. I think he's going to have a great connection with Aaron Rodgers there. A lot of touchdown upside.
By the way, how fired up are you to get Dalton Schultz in 4 picks?
Is it going to happen?
I mean, it might.
Let me go ahead and cue him up. Get ready.
I know Robert has a tight end. I don't know who has the tight ends right now. Let's see.
Because I mean, I took Marquise, so I can't take Zach Ertz. So that already knocks me out right there. So
I think only one person ahead of you has a tight end. So this is going to be tense times here. Nope.
And there he goes.
Dave takes Dalton Schultz. Sorry about that. Dave.
No.
I think there's some excitement for Dalton Schultz on this show. Okay. Next up is Robert Thomas. Let's take a look at Robert's team here. And Robert has James Conner and Breece Hall, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Tony Pollard. Okay. Let's see what he's going to do. Jalen Hurts, there you go. So that's a nice pick right there.
Yeah.
Would have been a good pick for Jamie, I think. But alas, Robert gets him. All right.
Alas.
Back to the draft. So what stage are we in the draft, Jamie? Are we looking for upside? Are we looking to fill out our starting lineup? Safe picks here. Does it depend on your team? Like what? We're pick 77. What does this mean in the draft right now? Where are we?
Upside. I mean, I think you take upside, depending on the position, but you should always be looking for upside.
Who's got it? Because Tyler Lockett's your next ranked wide receiver. Does he have it?
He's kind of ranked as if, the hope he's still going to be good. I mean, it's tricky with him.
Okay. Sorry, I'm being selfish here. I'm looking at my team. Heath taking Robert Woods, 7. Terrible pick, Heath. Bad pick.
Ahead of Burks?
I mean, whatever. I don't think either of them should go in this range. They're not going to be good. Not going to be that good. I'm just saying that because it's Heath, really, but I'm just giving him, a hard time. You look at the wide receivers. They're not. There's no obvious stud on the board, right? So it's personal preference. Dan takes Kyler Murray. I'm on the clock. Do I need a quarterback? Yes, I do. And I will take Russell Wilson to team up with Courtland Sutton. Okay. Any questions? This is interesting. What do you think about a Kyler Juju stack? Wouldn't really be a stack. Stack means on the same team. The same NFL team. Okay, Colin Williams says, agree or disagree with this statement. The best running back values in the dead zone are the handcuff running backs with standalone value, as opposed to non-workhorse RB1s. So what would that be? That would be like Tony Pollard versus Antonio Gibson kind of deal?
I would agree. But I also would lean towards the unknown of youth, like Breece Hall or Travis Etienne as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because you say, all right, Tony Pollard would be an example. Obviously, he's got massive upside if Zeke gets hurt. But if Jerick McKinnon gets hurt, we saw it last year. Much, much better production from Antonio Gibson. Sorry, just looking at some of the chat here. Tom Brady goes after Russell Wilson. The best value in the dead zone is Travis Etienne. I think Tara would agree with that.
I would.
Yeah. What happened to Clemson last year, by the way? Why did they kind of suck?
Oh, man. You can't, you got to step aside and let other teams shine sometimes. So that was it.
Okay.
All right, generosity.
So Tom Brady pick didn't count, Jamie?
No. Jack is probably producing a show.
You're too nice to him.
We could back up.
You're too nice to him. But all right, Kenneth Walker, Cordero Patterson. What do you expect, Tara, from Ken Walker and or Cordero Patterson? Do you think either one of them will be a must-start running back this year?
Cordero Patterson for sure. He's one of my favorite picks for later running backs just because of the upside I think that he's going to have in the receiving game. And then Kim Walker as well. Again, that's another young guy who's just one step away from if he can, supersede Rashad Penny.
Okay. I'm on the clock. Just going to try to get some running back depth here. But I don't particularly like the running backs. So let's see what wide receivers looking like. Yeah. I think I'm going to take Devontae Smith.
You like him?
I do. I mean, look, it's him or the rookies right now, and I like second year guys. So, and he was good as a rookie. All right, here's a question from Seth. Question for Jamie. When you talk about just drafting for most upside, why do you have Lockett over some of the highly touted rookie wide receivers?
Well, I mean, the rookies are in some weird spots, man. I mean, you look at Drake London and Treylon Burks, their quarterback situations are a little sketchy by comparison, or in the same vein as Tyler Lockett's. I mean, we could see Ryan Tannehill get benched for Malik Willis at some point. We could certainly see, quarterback, turnstile in Atlanta between Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder. I hope that, we saw some flashes of Geno Smith still being able to connect with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. So they're all very similar. If you want to go with the upside of the rookies, I have no problem with that at all. So I just think I don't want to just completely downgrade Lockett because of I don't want to downgrade him to a point where it's not feasible to think he could still do something.
Well, yeah, and the other thing, Jamie, is that I think you're not completely tied into your rankings, right? When you're doing a draft, you look at your team, you say, okay, I want to take a shot. I want to take a home run here. I need some of that upside. Your team might change the way you draft, and you could go away from your rankings, right?
It should. Your draft is a living organism, so you should, treat it as such. It's changing as, it's unfolding. And so if you need a receiver that you think is going to, help you, a home run type hitting player, and you don't think that Tyler Lockett is that guy, then you absolutely should not draft him. If you think I think he's a little safer than some of the rookies. So that's why I have him ranked in the spot that he is. But he keeps falling. I mean, he's not somebody that's, I think he's going to rise, especially if the quarterback situation stays the same.
Chase Edmonds to Dan, who wrote a very mean comment about me in the chat. So that's not cool, man.
I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, Schneier. He's just mixing it up. Adam Azer takes Russ over Brady and is critiquing Heath for going Robert Woods. Yeah, that's what I do. I critique Heath for everything, but I'm comfortable with Russ over Brady. Brady's pretty overrated football player, if you ask me. Dallas Goedert to Tara, Zach Ertz right after that, and Drake London to Heath. Great pick, Heath. But Tara, how do you feel about taking Dallas Goedert when you were 3 picks away from a Dalton Schultz steal?
Taking Dallas Goedert there was more so me looking at the wide receivers and knowing that there's quite a few of them there that I'm okay with coming back around for the next round. And I'll take the chance there with Dallas Goedert. There's a lot of mouths to feed there, a lot of talent, but I do think that even though they're committed to the run, they're going to push the pass a little bit more. So I'm okay with Dallas Goedert there.
Hunter Renfrow is the next pick. And here's a comment from Mark Wilson. I don't think I want any Seahawks this year, LOL. I don't think that's a bad strategy.
I do like Kenneth Walker.
You do?
The right spot. Yeah.
Was he in the right spot? He went about a round ago, if I recall, right?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. Dave takes Tom Brady. Jamie, let's take a look at Jamie's team here. As Jamie is on the clock. He has no quarterback. Jonathan Taylor, Kareem Hunt. He has 4 wide receivers. Mike Evans, A.J. Brown, McLaurin, and Allen Lazard. What are we thinking here, Jamie?
I'm going running back.
Okay. Does Chris have a quarterback? I don't think he does. Chris is up now. Are you going to be bothered if he takes a quarterback?
No.
Are you going to take a quarterback?
No.
Ever?
Some point.
I'm going to take 4, Jamie. So you better start drafting.
That is definitely potential for you. I'm always fine waiting on Cousins or Derek Carr. I'm fine with those two. I think they both have top 10 upside, and certainly the value will be great for both of them.
Okay, but if you do that, are you then going to take Justin Fields, Trey Lance, something like that?
No.
Why? Because they don't have top 5 upside. Don't you want a guy on your team that has top 5 upside?
I'm not going to carry 2 quarterbacks in this league. So
you should though. So he just took Chris Olave. Chris just took Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, and that puts Jamie back on the. Alexander Madison. All right. Tim Patrick to Dave. That feels early to me. I mean, it's not that early. 99th overall, so you could basically just say, I want my guy. But should Tim Patrick really, should he even be a top 130 pick? Tim Patrick?
He's definitely closer to 130 for me than he is to 100. I think for Patrick to be this good, you're counting on one of Judy or Sutton not to be there. He's never been good without those guys being injured.
Yeah. I guess you just have to buy into all the negative Jerry Jeudy stuff. I don't know.
It's a nice stable pick.
Okay. You're a very nice person, Tara.
I would personally have taken a chance on Russell Gage before Tim Patrick.
I probably would have taken a chance on Traylon Burks. And
I was taking a chance on Traylon Burks as well.
Yeah. Good pick there from Robert Thomas.
I was just thinking, if you're taking a third receiver on a team.
Russell Gage, yeah.
Gage could be a top 30, top 20 receiver if Godwin's out for the first 6 weeks of the season.
Tara, you're a Packers fan, right?
I am.
I think I want to say Christian Watson here, so please don't.
I won't.
What do you think about the receivers? Oh, you're on the clock. Oh, Tara's on the clock. See, Jamie, don't ask her a question. Let's see. That's Tara's team. Lamar Jackson, Nick Chubb, Travis Etienne, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Marquise Brown, Christian Kirk at flex, Dallas Scott. A solid squad here.
I'm actually going to take the guy that y'all were just talking about, Russell Gage. I consider myself a Russell Gage truther at this point. I've stuck to it for a couple years. I'm not going to turn around. So, yeah.
Dan, what a homer Dan Schneider takes Kadarius Toney. Okay, so I'm on the clock. I've got Wilson, Mixon, A.J. Dillon, Diggs, Sutton, Juju, Kyle Pitts, Devontae Smith. I definitely could use some running back depth, but I really want to take Christian Watson. These running backs stink. We'll just take Christian Watson here. We'll make a trade in season. I expect Christian Watson to be good, but I expect it to take some time. So we'll just put him on the bench for a little while.
Yeah.
Tara does have a really good team. Everybody seems to like it in the chat. And here are the latest picks. Schneider's all fired up. Really, Adam? A homer pick? It's called upside. Didn't you just hear Jamie discuss going upside? Tony posted a 10-catch, 191-yard game last year.
You mean that chat? I keep looking at the draft chat.
Oh, no. I don't even have the draft chat up because it would show up on the stream. We don't want that. All right, who's going to go after Christian Watson? When is Jahan Dotson, the star receiver, the minicamp winner, going to be taken?
Loved him.
He will not make it past Heath next round. Jack's going to auto pick, and Jamie's going to be nice and let him do it again because Jack's working right now. All right. Any questions from the chat? Bring it on. We've got a 14-round draft here, and we are about to finish round 9. So we do have a little bit of time left for your questions and your comments. And I'm not going to read Schneider comments because he's in a little bit of a huff right now.
No, read him.
No, you literally take a rookie like Christian Watson after Tony and criticize me? Yeah, do you want me to tell you who their quarterbacks are? Should we go through this? You got one of the maybe the worst in football and maybe the best in football. Come on. Come on. Okay. Where are we at here? We're waiting for Jack.
Poor Daniel Jones.
Nico wants to know, where is Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr? Tara, who do you like better, Rodgers or Carr?
Rodgers. I mean, I love the upside for Carr. I really do. I think the volume's going to be there. But again, even with the lack of wide receivers, I just do believe in the efficiency of Aaron Rodgers to get it done.
You can't ask a Packers fan that question.
Who do you like better, Jamie?
I hate saying it, but I like Carr better.
I hate asking this, but for Matt, thoughts on Schneier being the new host of Fantasy Football Today? I'm against that. He already has a podcast, so he doesn't need this one too. So I'm gonna not give that to him. So Aaron Rodgers is the pick for Jack. Looks like we're keeping that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Tara, pick a name or like a letter there, and I'll read their team.
M.
M is Marone. You don't know them. That's okay. Marone has Patrick Mahomes, Najee Harris, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Michael Pittman, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Zach Ertz, Damian Harris, and Ronald Jones. I'm a looking and I'm a liking. This is a good team, guys.
Very high upside wide receivers there.
What do you think, Jamie? You like this squad?
Sorry, I was dealing with Jack being a baby.
Baby.
Say the squad again?
Yeah, Mahomes, Najee Harris, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Ronald Jones, and Damian Harris. CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman, Jalen Waddle, Zach Ertz.
It's a very solid receiving core. Obviously, great quarterback, one great running back, one potential good running back. So, yeah, I like it.
That's a good way to build. Good way to build your squad. All right, Pat Fryer. So we had Dak Prescott instead of Aaron Rodgers. That makes sense. Pat Fryermuth, Rashad Penny, and Devontae Parker. Let me see how George has compensated for not taking a wide receiver until very late. George has Josh Allen, Kamara, Swift, Zeke. He has Bateman. He went on the 5-6 turn. He went Gabriel Davis, Rashad Bateman. He has Elijah Moore, Devontae Parker. Well, I mean, look, he's certainly got upside at wide receiver with Davis, Bateman, and Elijah Moore, and no tight end yet for him. All right, we're waiting for Jack to auto pick again. RJ took Joe Burrow. And here's a here's a question from Brian. Jacobs, Dobbins, Breece Hall, or David Montgomery?
Dobbins.
Montgomery.
No, Montgomery. Sorry, Montgomery.
Jamie is the GOAT from Gamer Eric. I don't know what GOAT stands for.
I don't know either.
Probably something bad. All right, sorry, I'm on the clock here. Tyler Algier goes. I definitely need a running back. Half PPR. We're going to go with Ramondre Stevenson. Don't love him as my number 3 running back, but at least I have Christian Watson. Here's Dan Schneier's terrible team. He has Kyler Murray, Dalvin Cook. He has a good team. Kyler Murray, Dalvin Cook, Cam Akers, DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Darnell Mooney, Mark Andrews, Chase Edmonds, and Kadarius Toney.
Very solid.
It's hard to criticize. I'd like to. I mean, I could see a real lack of touchdowns at wide receiver. It could be a big problem with DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Jerry Jeudy, Kadarius Toney, and Sky Moore. Once upon a time,
it's a better PPR team than it is half PPR.
Yeah. Once upon a time, it's a funny story about Dan Schneider. He took Sky Moore as the first rookie wide receiver. And now he's like the 10th? Not quite, but way to go, Dan. Good early drafting by you. So far in round 10, it's Devontae Parker, Joe Burrow, Tyler Algier, Ramondre Stevenson, Sky Moore, and it's Tara time. Now here's Tara's team. You can talk us through it.
Adam, I would have taken Ramondre Stevenson. I really like him as a. I mean, we talked about running backs where you've got them where they have standalone value. It sounds like he's going to be more involved in the pass game. He's got a split backfield with Damian Harris, and then the upside of if Harris goes down and that workload that he'd be able to have. I just love that location for him. But since I cannot have him, I'm going to take Darrell Henderson.
Do you think Henderson will have any value without an injury to Cam Akers?
Yeah, I think there's a hope that Cam Akers is going to be more involved in the pass game, but I think they might end up defaulting to Henderson being more involved with that pass game out of the backfield. So I do think he will have a tiny bit of standalone value and then high end handcuff upside.
All right. So, now is handcuff time. Still got some decent ones out there. If you look at the running back rankings, you've got, do you really? Maybe Darrell Williams, Isaiah Spiller, perhaps. Jamie, I don't know that I can. Gus Edwards. I don't know that I can confidently say that we have good handcuffs out there. Am I missing one? Rashad White, maybe?
There's a few. I think Rashad White, something happens to Fournette. We certainly have seen Keyshawn Vaughn and what he's done or failed to do. I don't think Giovanni Bernard is that guy. Then we have Kenneth Gainwell, who a lot of people are excited about, given Miles Sanders' injury track records, missed 4 games each of the last 2 seasons. They haven't added anybody yet. So him or Boston Scott, Gainwell certainly could be in a good situation. You mentioned Darrell Williams. Obviously, Michael Carter still has to be in that conversation too. He had very good moments last year when there wasn't Zach Wilson under center. We'll see what happens with Zach Wilson there and obviously Breece Hall. So there's still some good handcuff options there.
Okay. So let's catch up on some picks. There really haven't been any. Let's look at the best wide receivers available right now. Michael Gallup, these are Jamie's rankings. Michael Gallup, Rondale Moore, and there's PPR rankings, by the way, and this is half PPR. Brandon Ayuk, really very strong finish for him. Chase Claypool, who, he says he's a top 3 receiver, so he probably should have been taken by now. Jahan Dotson, Jarvis Landry, Tyler Boyd. Man, like the first 4 or 5 I could see getting excited about. After that, it's kind of hold your breath a little bit. And what are we doing with that, Jamie? Keeping Gesicki?
Yeah, we're 53 minutes into this. You get auto-picked, you get auto-picked.
Okay. Yeah, look, we have a lot of HQ producers who are part of this. Please be watching CBS Sports HQ. It's on the CBS Sports app. It's free. It's awesome. So some people will have jobs that don't involve fantasy football, and they auto-pick sometimes. So Gesicki, Michael Carter to Heath, and Robert Thomas is on the clock. I believe it was his last pick that we loved. It was Treylon Burks. And we'll see what he does here in round 10. No kickers, no DSTs. Ayuk, Josh Patterson says Ayuk is a top 20 wide receiver this year. Dotson may become the wide receiver 1 for the Commanders. What's more likely? Ayuk top 20 or Dotson wide receiver 1 for the Commanders?
I guess you have to say Dotson, right? Because if McLaurin doesn't play or gets traded.
Yeah.
I'd have to say Dotson. Ayuk top 20 is hard.
Because number 1 for the Commanders could be like the 40th best fantasy receiver. Like, it doesn't mean that he's going to be good.
So he took Michael Carter, James Robinson to Robert, and Jahan Dotson to Dave. And now Jamie is on the clock. Still does not have a quarterback. Here's Jamie's team. He's got still no quarterback. All right, so what's the thought process here? You've gone heavy running back late in the draft here.
Well, I started with Taylor, and then I went 3 receivers and a tight end. So, taking some shots on guys that have the upside to be, potential starters, fantasy starters. Obviously, Kareem Hunt can be a standalone player and could be a superstar, which would kill Tara if something happens to Nick Chubb. James Cook is more of a PPR bet as opposed to a half PPR bet, but still I think he's going to catch passes, and we'll see what he does in this Buffalo offense. That's why I took him. I took Madison, which I take in a lot of drafts because I believe in this Minnesota offense, and I certainly have seen enough of what happens when Dalvin Cook is not there to know that he is a league winner. Kenneth Gainwell was the last one that I took because I think his upside is evident if something happens to Miles Sanders and what should be a good offense. You kind of see the offenses that I'm gravitating toward with the running backs that I'm taking, high scoring potential. And so these guys ever get in good spots, I think they have the chance to be league-winning type of guys.
Okay. Just not really sure why you hate quarterbacks, but that's fine. Here are the quarterbacks that are available. You can see them on the left.
This is why I've been waiting on quarterbacks.
Stafford, Cousins, Carr, Rodgers, Deshaun Watson. Well, but I don't know. Okay, so are you going to take Stafford here?
I'm not going to take a quarterback here.
All right, let's see. Chris did not take a quarterback either. He took Jarvis Landry and Nyheim Hines.
Yeah, Hines I was considering 2 rounds ago, but having Jonathan Taylor just gave me a little bit of pause just to take both of them.
Because you don't think Hines is a real handcuff, right?
He's definitely not a real handcuff, and he's clearly not as good in half PPR and non-PPR based on his role. But,
right.
Frank Reich is clearly going to use him. There's going to be the potential of him, being significantly involved in the passing game, especially when you look at this receiving core. Michael Pittman is established himself, and then you have Alec Pierce and Paris Campbell and, a rookie and a guy that can't stay healthy. And so, I think one thing that the Colts got away from last year, which I think they regretted, was not involving Hines more. The targets and reception total between Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines are basically the same, and that's a tremendous loss for Nyheim Hines. And so Reich wanting to get the ball more in his hands, and I've said this many times. Tara's hearing this, I'm sure, for the first time, but our cover story for our magazine is Jonathan Taylor. So I spoke to Marcus Brady and Scotty Montgomery, their offense coordinator and running backs coach, respectively. And they both said how much they're going to use both of them. And I think, you're going to see them on the field at times together. I think you're going to see closer to what the receiving numbers were for Hines 2 years ago. Now, that includes, 4 receiving touchdowns. I don't know if that's going to happen. But, I think, as I've said, he can be a dark horse candidate to be a top 5 leader in running back receptions. He's got that type of upside with Matt Ryan now, who's similar to Phillip Rivers, just a statue of a quarterback that's going to, throw passes to that position. And so it's a great pick by Chris. I was going to take him at this point. I wasn't going to take him, when I considered it 2 rounds ago.
All right, with some more picks here. Chase Claypool, Michael Gallup, Cole Kmet. Tara is on deck. Another question for you, Jamie, though. Do you feel like you have enough wide receiver depth? Because you only have, 4? And you went early with them. So you have Evans, AJ Brown, McLaurin, and Allen Lazard. You feel okay about your wide receivers?
As long as McLaurin is there, yeah, absolutely. I think I'd like to get one more, because then I could rotate one in as a flex, or one in as a receiver as needed. But if you go early at a position, whether it's running back or receiver, you have to sort of compensate someplace else. And so maybe I've taken too many swings at running backs and not enough, wide receiver depth. But if I come out of this with 5 wide receivers, I'm happy with it, especially with my top 4. 4 guys that are in, 3 in my top 24 and 1 with Lazard in my top 35.
Okay, JD McKissick to Marone, and we are waiting for Tara. Always waiting on Tara,
Yes. I feel like I queue people up and then they get taken right before I'm going to pick.
Oh.
I would have taken Michael Gallup and stashed him, but I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk. I know that he's got to come off the board eventually. I know that it's very crowded over there, but at this point, there is value in what you actually know in terms of his talent.
All right, Brandon Ayuk is the pick. Oh, I'm so excited for my next pick. No, not yet.
Just taking quarterback, Trey Lance.
I'm going to say if Trey Lance is available in round 12, I'll take him. But I mean, when you sit here, right, because I think Trey Lance could be an absolute league winner. Okay, and so let's look at the other players that are available. And it's like, who am I really going to take ahead of? I want to take Isaiah Spiller, actually. I think there's a small chance that he gets just goal line work, not all of it, but some goal line work, and might score some touchdowns. But I'm going to queue him up just in case I'm missing a wide receiver or something. But Rondale Moore, that's an interesting one. No, I need running back depth. All right, so I'm going to take Isaiah Spiller. But you're just talking about potential league winners here. I mean, Trey Lance, to me, is at the top of the list. So I'm not passing him up. But I probably won't get him because there are some smart people drafting right now, the next 6 picks. Let's see. And those picks are Rondale Moore. See, smart pick. Dan Schneider took Marquez Valdez-Scantling after Tara took Brandon Ayuk. Waiting for RJ to make a pick here. Let's just pick RJ's team at random. Let's see what RJ's team is looking like. Joe Burrow, who we got, I think, in round 10. J.K. Dobbins and Antonio Gibson. Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper. Pat Freiermuth. Miles Sanders at flex. Tyler Lockett, Cordero Patterson on the bench. Not really a glaring weakness there. Pretty good. Pretty good team.
Mm-hmm.
We like it?
I like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Tara, give your take on Georgia's team. He's got the 12th pick. He'll be up next. Still doesn't have a tight end. Josh Allen, Kamara, Swift, Zeke at flex. And then, risky at wide receiver. Gabriel Davis, Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore. He also had George took Trey Lance. He just won the league. He also has Kenny Golladay, Rashad Penny, and Melvin Gordon.
Or did he just block you on Trey Lance? Because he's got Josh Allen, so it's not.
Yeah, he didn't need that. He didn't need to take it. He's the number one quarterback, but why not? He's a good.
He just blocked you.
Keep him away from you.
Again, with his team, I love that Kamara and Swift combination there. You're looking at two guys that can potentially be top 5 running backs. Jamie mentioned with the court date getting pushed back, it means that he will start the season. We don't really know what will happen towards the end of it, but I'd be willing to take that chance with both of them as my lead backs.
All right, we are into round 12 now. We have 3 rounds left. And do we really have 3 rounds left? Yeah, 3 rounds left. What do you think, Jamie? Let's cut it at 12. What do you think?
No.
No, because I don't want Justin Fields to be my last pick.
I mean, why are you taking Justin
You had
Fields?
to take three quarterbacks.
No, I'm not going to. Like, how could I take Justin Fields over Matthew Stafford?
Why are you taking 2 quarterbacks? I don't understand.
Do I have to explain this? I'm taking the best player available.
For what? Doesn't help your team.
Jamie, let me tell you a little story about a team I had. It does help my team. Last year, I took Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Hurts, and it worked out very well because I don't know who I was playing, but I couldn't play Jalen Hurts down the stretch. He wasn't good enough. I was glad that I had Aaron Rodgers. What if there's an injury? Back yourself up. You talk about handcuffed running backs. Why don't you? It's the idea. It's like a handcuffed quarterback. Because if there's an injury to your starting quarterback, you may not be able to go to the waiver wire.
Let's see your team here.
There's enough guys. I don't have to take them now, but
I mean, your team is terrible.
it is not. That's not fair.
You should probably take another quarterback just to have it.
My team is Russell Wilson. My team is really good. Russell Wilson, Joe Mixon, AJ Dillon, Diggs, Sutton, Juju, Kyle Pitts. Not great at flex. Devontae Smith or probably Christian Watson when he becomes the best. And then some running back depth. This is a very good. Here's a comment that we should look at. Cousins is the perfect second quarterback. Agree or disagree?
From one of your relatives.
Yeah, no, but I don't agree with that necessarily. Like, I'd rather take Justin Fields as my second quarterback or Trey Lance as my second quarterback because I don't think Kirk Cousins has top 5 upside. I think a guy who could rush for 800 yards does have top 5 upside.
It depends on what your strategy is, yeah.
My strategy is to be great. Awesome. Terry, you're on the clock.
Okay, so let me explain this pick real quick. I know I have Lamar Jackson, and taking a running back might seem odd, but again, they're going to go back to being an incredibly run-heavy team. I'm not going to be relying on Gus Edwards, and I think the upside early season might be there in case he's the one that ends up being able to start the season, and maybe Dobbins is on the pup list, and the split between them, I think it's going to favor Gus Edwards in terms of the value that you're getting for his ADP. So I like taking him, even though I have Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So you took Gus Edwards, then Tyler Boyd goes. And just going to read some more questions. I'm not going to read any more questions because we don't have any good ones right now. Step it up, people. Ask some fantasy questions, whatever you want. It doesn't have to be about the draft. Tyler Boyd, Will Fuller. Oh, right. Forgot about all those guys who are unsigned. Will Fuller, Julio Jones. And who was the third one, Jamie, that you put in that group?
Will Fuller, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham, right. Raheem Mostert is the pick for Robert Thomas at 141 overall. You can see the best available running backs on the left. I'm going to just sort by all. Best available Rob Gronkowski. Good.
Did that work out well?
Yeah.
You took Stafford. There you go. Okay. Not going to get him 143rd in most drafts, but very good. Very good, Stafford.
Says you.
Take another one. Take another one with your next pick.
Don't peer pressure me.
Let's see what Chris does here. Let's see if Chris may feel like he missed out on the last potentially elite. Probably not. He's going to take Justin Fields because he's up now and has not taken a quarterback yet. Playing in a keeper league, choose 2 to keep. Derrick Henry in the 1st, Josh Allen in the 4th, or Darren Waller in the 6th.
I'm going to do Henry and Allen.
Allen and Waller.
Really? Okay. Really, Jamie? You sure? You want to read it again?
Yeah.
I'm with Tara, Henry, and Allen. Jamie's back on the clock. Chris still did not take a quarterback.
But why should he?
Well, because there could be a run on backups now. I mean, with our group, I guess it's a little unlikely, but why should he should? You should. The other thing is it's a half PPR league, so the quarterbacks are more valuable than they are in a full PPR league. So I don't know. I don't understand waiting this long, but what do I know? Zamir White was the pick for Chris to start round 13. Deontay Foreman, Rob Gronkowski, and we will we'll wait for the rest. Was that Dave's first tight end or second?
Their second.
Let's see Dave's team. We haven't looked at Dave's team yet. Picking 3rd. That is, he has Dalton Schultz. Tom Brady, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, DK Metcalf, Allen Robinson, Jahan Dotson, Dalton Schultz, and Javonte Williams. And Gronk, good team. What do you guys think?
Receivers could be shaky.
I'd also really like to play him in week 9 when Barkley, Schultz, and Javonte Williams are all on bye. Receivers definitely could be shaky. I knew Dave was going to go heavy on the running backs. All right, Marone is on the clock. Tara is on deck. Let's pick another team at random here. Let's go to Jack Capitorto's team. Dak Prescott, Aaron Jones, and Eli Mitchell. Chris Godwin, Brandon Cooks, Michael Thomas, Travis Kelce. Flex will eventually be DeAndre Hopkins. In the meantime, could be Ken Walker, Rondell Moore, Tyler Algier, Jameson Williams. I don't want to be too nice or anything, but I just haven't found any teams that I don't like. I think people are drafting well today.
I mean, yours is the worst one.
I don't agree with that. I think mine's one of the better ones. Let's see. Tara's on the clock now. You can take a look at Tara's team. Mine's really missing a backup quarterback, but Tara, who did you take?
I took Nico Collins.
Okay, and then Jamal Williams went, and because he's probably Schneier, what do you think, the 4th string running back on the team?
Wow.
My team. All right, I'm definitely taking a quarterback now. Carr, Watson. We're gonna go Fields.
I just don't understand why you're taking Fields over Carr.
Because of upside. I think he has more upside. If it was my number 1 quarterback, I'd probably take Carr, but it's not. I have Russell Wilson. Aren't you the one who talks about upside? Not your thing?
Yeah, but I still think that Carr has more upside than Justin Fields.
I don't think so, but that's fair. What do you think, Tara? Who has more upside?
Yeah, I agree with Jamie. It's Carr.
Oh,
I think he has.
Tara.
Justin Fields has QB1 upside. I don't think he has top 5 upside. I do think that Carr has that.
I don't think that he does personally, but
the volume.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who's to say? It's never seen him with a guy like Devontae Adams before. All right, more picks here. Sammy Watkins to Jack. And we've got 14 picks to go. So if you have any questions, now is the time. Send them in. What do you guys, by the way, should we be talking about Deshaun Watson now? Like, when should Deshaun Watson be going?
Well, again, if you're drafting for upside right now, you should have been drafting Deshaun Watson over Justin Fields.
I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to play. So it's
what if he plays 6 games?
Not holding that on my bench. It's not like I can stash him in an IR spot. But if you want,
If
Jamie,
you're sitting on a second quarterback that you're never going to play, why would you not take one?
Who says I'm never going to play him? Maybe Justin Fields has a real breakout. Who says? I can take Watson. I can take Watson right the hell now if I wanted to.
Right the hell now. Take 3.
I kind of want to. Is there any high upside running back left? Yeah, Khalil Herbert. All right, we're gonna put him on the bench.
All on the Bears. Good team.
Can I just show you the worst comment? Look at this. Where's Schneier? Jamal Williams, a proven talent. He is proven to be one of the most average, just a guy running backs. Schneier. Like Jamal Williams Craig Reynolds is gonna be better than him. You're done.
You're done. Wow, shutting him down.
All right, let's see. Is Tara up again? Tara is up.
I'm up.
Dan Schneier takes Amari Rodgers. Schneier, by the way, begged me to be in the same Scott Fishbowl division as him. And we are in the Miami, Florida division. All right, let's see. Tara takes – who are you taking, Tara? Well, you want to do a quick Clemson search?
ACC in general. This is going to be a weird one, but I'm going to go with Corey Davis here. I know we've got a lot of young talent there, but again, you do have to consider the possibility that, they did pay him a lot of money. They don't want to keep him isolated and not actually on the field. He's going to be involved in some way. So I'll take that chance.
Okay. Corey Davis it is. Interested to see what happens in that Jets receiving room, who emerges. Okay, after Corey Davis, we are waiting for Marone. Why don't we take a look at our teams now as we just get to the last round. All right, we'll start with Jamie's team. Let's get some comments from the audience here. What do you think about Jamie's team? Here it is. Matthew Stafford, Jonathan Taylor, and Kareem Hunt. This is a half PPR league, 3 receivers. You can see there. A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Darren Waller, at flex, Allen Lazard, and a lot of high upside running backs on the bench. Madison, Gainwell, Rashad White, Deontay Foreman, James Cook. Only 4 wide receivers. Just a lot of running back depth there. Okay, what do we think about this team, folks? Okay, no comment.
There is a lot of potential there in terms of handcuffs. I mean, you've got ones that can stand alone with the right PPR upside. Even though it's half PPR, they've still got it. Kenneth Gainwell, James Cook, potentially Rashard White.
Sometimes I wonder when one person in the chat is just trolling me, do I just ignore him? Because like when my kids say something and I say just ignore it, I think that's kind of what I'm gonna do. Jamie's team is getting rave reviews. Let's look at Tara's team. I like Tara's team a lot. Lamar Jackson, Nick Chubb, Travis Etienne, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Marquise Brown, Dallas Goedert at tight end, Christian Kirk at flex. And she went a little bit more wide receiver heavy on the bench with Brandon Ayuk, Russell Gage, Corey Davis, Nico Collins, also Darrell Henderson and Gus Edwards, 2 high upside guys on her bench. All right. What do we think about audience? What do we think about Tara's team?
Very solid.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I guess, I was looking at the PPR rankings and Nick Chubb escaped me a little bit because he's significantly worse in full PPR. He's worse, but he's actually been a top 12 running back per game 3 straight years in full PPR, but half PPR, that was a great pick in round 2. All right, let's take a look at the magic here. Adam's team.
This is the worst team in this draft.
Do you mean that?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Because it's you.
Yeah, I know. It's a pretty good team. You got to look Russell Wilson, Joe Mixon, and A.J. Dillon, Diggs, Sutton, Juju, Kyle Pitts. Not loving flex right now. Devontae Smith, maybe Ramondre Stevenson. Got, I think, good upside on the bench in Khalil Herbert, Christian Watson, Isaiah Spiller. Obviously, we need injuries here. Darrell Williams. Yeah, what do you guys think, audience? Yeah, I agree. Broward Bravado. I bet Adam outscores Jamie by the end of the season. LOL. Of course, we're not playing this out. Oh, I got a C- here from Fantasy Dog. Don't like that. Anyway, good teams. All right. We done? We finished the draft? Yeah,
Yes.
we finished it. We finished. All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. Tara, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And Robert Thomas, thank you for joining us as well. We appreciate that. And I think everybody else was CBS, right? Yeah, I don't have to thank them.
Depends. Have you gotten a call from your boss yet?
I don't have one yet. So I'm waiting on that.
Bring your playbook.
So thanks for watching, everybody. Remember, every Tuesday at 1 p.m., we're live streaming. Next week, Scott Fish joins us for the Scott Fish Bowl mock draft. So you can have something to look forward to there. The best way to know about it is to hit subscribe. Hit subscribe, and you can set reminders and be notified when we're about to go live. I want to thank Jamie Eisenberg very much and Tara Roberts and all of you for watching. And tell your friends about Fantasy Football Today. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the podcast. See you later.